Premier Kathleen Wynne. What a pleasure that I finally get someone of your esteem on my show. I want to tell you something that I've been dying to tell you, and I wanted to do it when I had the opportunity to sit and chat with you, and that is that you are one of my virtual mentors.
Oh, what an honor. That's fantastic. Thank you, Raj.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the first thing I really want to ask you is, of course, this mission is going to India.
Yes.
It has very specific objectives, and they're very tied in with really what the Prime Minister is doing in India as well. I'd love for you to shed some light on some of that which is associated with opportunities for Ontario specifically.
Yeah, and that's a great question, because the reason to go on a trade mission is to find ways to make connections, to look for opportunities, and what Prime Minister Modi is doing with the Make It India and the infrastructure investments and the smart cities initiative that he's got in place, those things really tie in with capacity that we have here in Ontario. So a number of companies that are coming with me are clean tech companies, IT companies that we're hoping will be able to provide some support and obviously make connections that will be good for people here back home in Ontario. And we're also going to be connecting with the movie industry, because we hosted IFA here a number of years ago, and I think that there are good, strong connections we can make on the entertainment side as well.
So what do you hope to do from an entertainment perspective? Bring more production into Ontario from India for the movies?
Yeah, Ontario is a very welcoming place for movie production. I went down to California a few months ago and met with the industry there. We have film tax credits, digital tax credits in place that really offer a lot to the entertainment industry. So we want to tell that story. We want to tell the story of what Ontario is, and it's a two-way street. We're also looking for how we can learn from what's going on in India. Prime Minister Modi has a very, very ambitious agenda, and he's really looking to modernize and urbanize India, and so I think that there's a lot that we can do together.
So what do you feel, Premier, could be the economic opportunities for Ontario based on what the Prime Minister is doing over there? Because clearly we're going on this trade mission from Ontario to India to kind of expand what we've already done, right? So how do you feel about that? What do you feel could potentially come back to Ontario? Because I understand what's going there.
Well, I think there could be job creation, because I think if we look at the work that Prime Minister Modi wants to do there, and I'm going to be meeting with leaders from the various jurisdictions that I will be traveling to. There are investments in infrastructure that are happening. There's technology that they need in order to be able to modernize in the way that I was talking about. So if we have the capacity in companies here in Ontario to produce the products that are needed, then that creates jobs here in Ontario, and so it's a mutually beneficial system.
How do you feel about the cultural element of that? I mean, of course, Ontario has the largest cultural demographic from India. How do you feel the cultural ties and binds with Ontario and India could potentially be a lot greater than what they already are with this mission?
Well, first of all, those cultural ties help enormously. So many of the companies that are traveling with me are run by people of South Asian, of Indo-Canadian background, and so they have their own connections there, and I know that we're going over with particular agreements that may be signed, but there will be more agreements that will come up, and people will meet new contacts because of the connections that we have. I have a number of members of my caucus who are South Asian, who are Indo-Canadian, and so they're able to open doors, and they're all going to be there meeting with people who are their contacts as well. So I think the cultural connection really is where we start.
Yes.
And from that, we have the economic opportunities.
So what do you feel, Premier, is Ontario's advantage or maybe point of difference compared to other countries or maybe even provinces that could potentially be looking for a similar kind of an engagement with India?
Well, I think there are a couple of things, and in terms of Canadian jurisdictions, this may not be a huge distinction, but Ontario has a particularly well-educated workforce. And we also have a very diversified economy. So, I can with great ease say that we have strength in the entertainment sector, but at the same time, we have great strength in renewable energy, in manufacturing, in the auto sector. We have a wide range of capacity in Ontario. Our IT sector is one of the largest in North America. So we have a lot of different things to offer, and that actually is different than other jurisdictions, even other jurisdictions in Canada.
Other than the economic, opportunities both for India and for Ontario, are there any other opportunities that you'd like to, shed light on that potentially could be a part of the mission?
Well, there's another opportunity that is economic in a sense, and that is we're all grappling with the issue of climate change. No matter where you live in the globe, it's clear that climate change is something that we have to take on, and so I think that we can make a connection. India has set targets. They are eager to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And I think that there is a really important conversation for us to be having with a country as large as India about how we can be supportive. In Ontario, we have shut down all our coal-fired plants, and we're on our way. We're setting up a cap and trade system, but we're 13.6 million people.
Right.
India is so much bigger. And so if there's something that we can do as a country that is blessed with big geography, small population, if there's something that we can do, I think we have a moral obligation to do that. And so building that trust relationship is very important to that kind of partnership.
My audience, Premier, my last question for you, is very female-centric, between 20 to 40. What would you say to that audience in terms of, potentially getting involved with these opportunities?
I would say to the young women who watch you and listen to you and see you as a mentor, don't limit yourselves in terms of what you dream to do. When I was a young woman, I had no idea I was going to be the Premier. It was not on my horizon. But what I did know is that I wanted to take advantage of opportunities to help my community, to work in my community. And that's how I got here, because I got involved in education politics because of my own children's school and my own background in education. So just watch for doors to open and know that as a young woman, you have a lot to offer. Your life experience and your perspective is very important. We live in a world that has traditionally been male-oriented, that has been dominated by men. That's just a fact. That's not a judgment, it's just a fact.
Absolutely.
And so we need the other half of the population at the table in order that all of the issues that affect humanity get dealt with. So that's why it's so important that young women step up and do what they know is know what they're capable of.
And on that note, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to chat with my audience, and also just to shed light on what the mission's about, and how important it is to be a woman and a cultural woman in today's society.
Absolutely, and I'm very excited about it. Thank you for having me. I hope we can do it again.
Absolutely, can't wait.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.